Hello again, Teacher Vincent here. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been busy teaching. And when I started this channel, it was when I was doing summer camp. I had a little bit more time, and I thought I really wanted to get around and start recording some videos. So I started with something that I'm very passionate about. I started with stationery, but I've been playing with different stationery and changing different things to meet the needs of what I need to do at school, which is mainly marking. I don't do a lot of writing, but even like when I do write, I do write my journals. But even that, I've been kind of cutting back on. It's just the first semester is always really busy. We have quite a few different events going on, all at the same time. So probably anyone who's teaching in the school, you have the big Christmas show that everyone needs to prepare for. But we've got other activities that get all piled on there as well. So finally, one of the activities has come to a close, and the next activity will come to a close next week. So we only have one more big show to look after, which is Christmas. So what I want to do is do something a little bit different. Instead of talking about stationery and fountain pens, which are great. I'm still into it. I still have some new stationery that I would like to talk about, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the challenges and updates that I go through as a teacher here in Taiwan. So I watched a video recently where I believe it's a Taiwanese who's interviewing English teachers teaching in Taiwan. So he interviewed a few different teachers. In fact, one was a Taiwanese who teaches English, which I think was really good. I mean, like me being Canadian-born Chinese, I don't have an issue with Asians being teachers, but some schools they do, and it's hard to get over that stereotype that, well, you're Asian and then you can't be an English teacher. So I thought I want to go through some of the things that I've learned being a teacher, and I'm very fortunate that I have a very good support structure. I have people that I can talk to about some of the challenges I have with students and adults. So all of us go through different challenges at the workplace. And one of the things that I struggle is what I want as a teacher versus what the students want as a kid. So we have goals. We set goals, and in our teaching schedule, when we plan our lessons, we have a goal. But when students, they perform at different levels, and when they don't get it, and then they can't get to, like, they can't meet your goal. There's a lot of frustration, and sometimes that frustration comes out in anger, sometimes it comes out in disappointment. And of course, kids, they can see this and they can feel it. So one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remind myself, okay, what's my goal, and what's the goal of the student or the school or the other teachers. We work with Chinese teachers as well. And it's interesting because I do go through a lot of uh, challenges with things like handwriting and wrong answers, poor writing. I teach different levels. I teach a younger level and an older level. So the older level is more about spelling, writing, sentence structure, whereas the younger level is more about handwriting and participation, speaking. So it's just really normal challenges anyone goes through when you're dealing with the class. And I think it's interesting to share, things that I've learned. I have a kid who's got some challenges. The parents are great. They actually acknowledge that the child has a condition and just ask us to be aware of it. And we're not trained in any way to deal with kids with conditions, but I will try my best to learn and cope with it. But I think being told up front that a person has a learning condition makes me approach the situation differently versus a student who uh, they don't acknowledge there's a condition and really needs to just insist that we treat everything the same, and okay, there's no problem, just needs to practice more. Well, no, that's not true. When there's a condition, we cannot just teach the conventional way. We need to approach things differently. And I think that's the one thing that I learned is, I have a couple of kids that, one, they admit there's a condition, and then two, there's no admission of any condition. They just say, okay, well, the student's just a bit slower, and that's the viewpoint of, let's say, parents or even the school. But clearly the student has some kind of condition that's stopping them from learning, like the majority of the class. Now I can't say it's a normal student, but the majority of class, they get it, and other students, they just don't get it and they need more help. So I've been trying to cope with this on my own, in lack of getting the necessary support from my so-called co-teacher or Chinese teacher. So I went through and I tried to find different ways that I can get through to the student. So one of the things I do with the student that has admitted there's a condition is I'm very patient with the student and I try to give more chances to the student. But I tell myself, like when I look at the relationship I have with this student, I think it's great. The kid comes in, he's very energetic and very happy. We have nap time. So the kid just runs to his sleeping bag and he jumps in and makes little grunt noises, and he's the happiest kid in the classroom. He likes being there. And when he wakes up and I crack a joke or make some comments, he laughs and he interacts. And of course, he doesn't like it when I point out mistakes, but I'm also pretty easy on him when it comes to mistakes compared to other kids, the majority of the class. I believe they understood what the lesson was about and they should be able to do that. But I have to remind myself, like, if I can do that for a student that has a known condition, then I need to try to remind myself that I need to be more like that for other students as well. Every student wants to be treated nicely. They don't want to be treated like differently. And, so I think this is just a message to myself that I'm sharing is, let's focus on helping each student. Please remember, they're not there because, they signed up for learning English. Is somebody else wanted them to attend this class, and they are the ones who want to see the results. The kids, they don't necessarily understand what the results are. They just know that they have to get a certain score in order to continue in the class. If they don't meet that score, the rule from the school is they need to do a re-exam or a retest until they do pass. And that's something I remind students. That's not my requirement. I just want them to learn. I want them to have fun. But unfortunately, there's a metrics that needs to be met in order to stay in the class. And that's also a reflection on me as a teacher. I'm not able to say that I'm successful unless all the students have met the passing requirement. So I will keep trying. I think now that some of the events are over, I want to focus more on making the environment fun, inclusive, and consider everyone has a special condition. Everyone needs a little bit of a different treatment. We can't treat kids all the same. So I hope this is useful. It's Even if it's not, I'm just glad that I can speak to the camera instead of boring my family members or people around me, friends, fellow teachers. I think it's great that someone can listen, but I thought I would try this and record a video just to share what I'm going through, what my thoughts were. Hopefully, I'll have more success stories that I can share. So that's it for today. Until the next one, have a good one. Bye.